time to go inside out with our NFL insider, Connor Hughes. So, Connor, we've discussed that the Giants have injury concerns heading into Sunday, but so far this season, they've been one of the worst teams in the league. So outside of getting healthy, how do Brian Daboll and his coaching staff fix things?
Start winning games. I think that's the big thing. I mean, for offensively, it starts and stops with that offensive line. I know Daniel Jones isn't playing particularly well, but with that grouping that they have up front and how much they are struggling, you're not going to be able to do anything. Throw the ball, run the ball with that group playing like it is. Defensively, I think it just comes down to shoring up the tackling. I mean, once that happens, I think you'll see the 15, 20, 25-yard plays that the Giants have been starting to give up. They'll be cut down some because the opposing offensive player will be going down on contact. So I think overall, all of these problems, Evan Neal shouting out, some of the players seeming frustrated, that's all going to end once they start winning football games. But they're going to have to start winning football games by first solidifying what the heck's going on with that offensive line and then defensively shoring up that tackling.
Well, Daniel Jones has more interceptions through 4 games this season than he did all of last season after signing that massive extension in the offseason. Now, whether it's fair or not, how much of the blame do you think is on him for the way that this season has played out?
A decent amount. I mean, it's kind of twofold because the offensive line is not playing particularly well. And I don't think even if Daniel Jones was bringing his A game, he would still be dealing with those problems up front. But we haven't seen Daniel Jones's A game. He had a heck of a second half against the Arizona Cardinals where you saw glimpses of the player that took the Giants to the playoffs last year. You saw glimpses of the player that Joe Shane committed all that money to. But aside from that half, he has not been good. He wasn't good against the Cowboys. He wasn't particularly good against the 49ers. He wasn't obviously very good last week either against the Seahawks. In fact, that Seahawks game was probably one of the worst games I've seen from Daniel Jones in 2.5 years. So he has to get better. The accuracy needs to improve. The decision-making needs to improve. The aggressiveness needs to improve. He needs to be better. But again, it's kind of twofold because as good as he can play, it's still probably not going to be all that good with the front. But the front, that can, I think, solve a lot of the Giants' issues right now up front.
Yeah, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Let's switch to the Jets, though. They've got to have some momentum after their performance against the Chiefs. Yes or no, do you think it'll carry into Sunday against the Broncos?
They certainly sounded a lot different this week than any other week this season, including after that crazy walk-off touchdown against the Buffalo Bills in the opener. I mean, that game, obviously, there was some down feeling on Tuesday and Wednesday because of the fact that they lost Aaron Rodgers for the year. But every other game they played in the locker room, players, they weren't down, but there just wasn't really a pep in anyone's step. Maybe it's resonating down from Zach Wilson because his press conference, his meeting with the media on Thursday, Michelle, I've never seen him in a better mood. He was joking to start his press conference about the headband. He even he was more open and honest with his answers than ever before. You could tell it was almost like the weight of the world had been lifted off his shoulders once he had that best game of his career where for 4 quarters he was a really, really good quarterback. And I think the rest of the team is now feeling that as well. I know the Jets have said they're confident in their quarterback. They believe in their quarterback. But until you see it in a game, I don't think it's ever really true. And now that they've seen Zach Wilson do it, you get a sense that that belief is back. CJ Uzomah told me we are a playoff team. So that confidence really is overflowing. And I think it comes not only from how close they played the Chiefs, but how Zach Wilson looked in that game.
Yeah, it's interesting. It seems like their guard is down a little bit now. But how important would you say it is to get Garrett Wilson more involved in the offense?
It's just different ways to get him the ball. I mean, they targeted him a ton against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, they were going to him. It was just the ways they were going to him. Felt like it was all within 5-10 yards of the line of scrimmage. Now, I know that Garrett has a little Odell Beckham Jr. in him where you feel like you just give him a slant or a curl, he'll make one guy miss and take it to the house like he did against the Cowboys. But he also has the ability to stretch the field, get down the seam, go deep. We saw it in the game against the Chicago Bears where Mike White hit him for the touchdown over the middle and he just went to the house. So I think it's not only about getting the ball in Garrett Wilson's hands because they tried to do that against Kansas City with how many targets. It's about where they are throwing it to him. Don't use him just short. Send him deep. And now that line that the Jets have, that rework line, is starting to hold up. I mean, it really looks like they might have found something with this combination. Use that extra tick or two that Zach Wilson has to throw it to allow Garrett Wilson to get down the field and then attack once he's there.